All right, so I know a lot of people that have watched my content probably don't like sports games to begin with. And I love all types of different games. I'm sorry the camera's shaking and everything. It is what it is. But 2K is an interesting one for me because it's been a very. I've had a lot of fond memories of 2K, and I have been pressing so many people that I'm around and that play 2K with me that this game is hot garbage and that it is so toxic, and we should just find something else to do with our lives. But somehow we managed to always go back to 2K when it's on sale, or find a deal on eBay, because I refuse to pay full price for it. But this video is pretty much going over how NBA 2K's graphics are getting worse. It's brought to us by someone I've never watched before, SoftDrinkTV. So let's check it out.
Retrospective on NBA 2K14, and I briefly touched upon the legacy this game has when it comes to visuals. For many, this game from 2013, the first NBA 2K to hit the PlayStation 4 generation, was the best looking sports game ever made.
It was, and the big thing about sports games, if most people would know this, every new sports game, it should always be, oh, this looks better than the last one. Sometime, I don't know when, but it feels like we plateaued, and it feels like the graphics, I'm not gonna say are getting worse, but it's like they have different techniques to make them look slightly different, and I feel like it's in a cycle of threes, because if you look at like 2K20 and then 2K23, they look oddly similar. It's very
lighting,
odd.
Arenas, hardwood,
yeah, the lighting
jersey
is
textures,
big.
player skin. Everything looks lifelike, incredible even.
Comment down below if you know this. Is this the first 2K to have VC in it? I think it was. I can't remember exactly. No. I think 2K13 was the one to do VC, because I have 2K12, and I need to play that. Bro, I fucking love 2K12. I have too many good games to actually play besides that, and I'm playing a shitty game right now called Avowed, because I've refused to quit. I have to go all the way through it and see how bad it really is.
The sky was the limit for video game graphics back when the PS4 and Xbox One
Monte
first
Ellis.
came out. These games look real,
oh man,
and how much better would they improve with time? Well, here's NBA 2K25, the latest NBA 2K title, now for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. The game runs in a higher resolution than ever before, and the picture is very sharp, but there's just something off about it. Compared to the 2K14,
this is misleading because obviously the shot was very far away, and this one's closer up. The graphics, I think, are better in 2K25 than 14, for sure, just by looking at the gameplay right now. And also, there's different gimmicks that they do to enhance the game. Like for instance, like the crowd is more energetic, and like you might not give a fuck about that, but you might catch it once every 3 games or something like that. It's interesting. A lot of people don't even play NBA like games; they actually just play on the park. And I really think when they introduce the park, the city, whatever it might be, that's when 2K started to downgrade tremendously. Like the VC was bad to begin with, but then on top of that, putting everybody into a multiplayer based system where all the focus is on the park and how long can we waste your time from you running from point A to point B, and it just the cosmetics you buy, and it just destroyed the game in my opinion. It's terrible.
Footage we just looked at, 2K25 might have more detail, but it also lacks something intangible. In this video, we are going to compare footage I captured between NBA 2K14 and NBA 2K25 to get to the bottom of this once and for all.
All right, let's do that.
Does 2K14 really look better than a game 11 years newer? In what areas is it better, and in what areas is it worse? Let's find out. I started this comparison off with pre-game intros and a regular game of the Heat at the Lakers using the LeBron era play now on 2K25 and the default rosters on 2K14. Here is NBA 2K14. Something about the players and the arena lighting seems different than modern 2K. The yellow and other colors are more saturated and look more authentic. Jersey materials move fluidly and represent the era a lot better than what we're about to see.
I think this is an argument that I would make for like Elden Ring, and which is really odd. Elden Ring isn't like the best fidelity picture, but the art style is so good. The way they use the contrast, the colors, the lighting, It's amazing. And I think that might be the case for 2K14 versus 25. Because the contrast in this game and the lighting in this game are phenomenal. But it's in a cartoonish, artsy way. It's not like super photorealistic. And also on top of this, in 2K, there's a lot of players that look like shit because they're not superstars. Obviously, LeBron, Kobe, Chris Bosh, big stars are going to look as real as possible. They're going to put the most detail in those players, obviously, because those are going to be the players that people play with most. So keep that in mind as well.
The on-court game,
like the Lakers and in Miami, were the two probably fan favorite teams at the time.
Play is fast and fluid, and it looks pretty nice. The court is reflective and well lit. Jersey physics are real.
I can't fucking even tell that there's boards and shit like that. This looks like shit to me, honestly. It might be because of my desktop as well.
Realistic, and for an 11-year-old game, this looks pretty damn great. Here are some free throws with Kobe. I think 2K14 looks at its best when zoomed in like this, showing off
Of course it does. It's a pre-built animation. It's scripted.
Details, shading, lighting, color saturation, etc. The art direction in this game was great. Now let's look at the exact same situation in NBA 2K25. You might immediately notice more detail, more crowd members, more advanced and diverse animations going on, and yet there's something off here. It's dull. The court looks more like rubber than
Why is this so... This isn't normal. It's it's so overexposed, or the white balance is skyrocketed, because I played this game. You can clearly tell it must be the way he recorded it or something, or maybe my desktop, my monitor's looking at it, or the quality of it. I don't know, but this looks like shit.
Polished hardwood. Despite representing the same era, the jerseys are tight and lack the loose cloth physics of 2K14. The overall saturation of the colors is washed out. Player movement is slower but more refined. There's more consistency in 2K25 and less warping and clipping, and yet it still looks worse.
Yeah, they definitely got it a lot more smoother and less video game like, which it's cool, but it's kind of boring at the same time.
Let's quickly go back to 2K14 to compare. This 11-year-old game,
that
as I mentioned
better.
earlier, has something intangible, hard exactly to point to, that makes it look better despite a worse resolution and less complexity. Let's look at some more examples. Here's a replay of Kobe zoomed in. This to me looks incredible here in 2K14. The shine of his bald head, the sweat, the court reflections, the jersey physics, the basketball itself. Everything looks so good. I could sit here and play around in replay mode, capturing footage all day in this game.
The basketball looks fucking amazing.
It's beautiful. 2K25 doesn't look bad, but it looks less authentic. Kobe
doesn't look that good,
actually has more tattoos here, but his face and head don't.
Yeah, his face it looks really odd.
Look right. His jersey
he looks like he's almost like they crossed him with Chris Paul or something. He looks off.
Is way too tight and doesn't seem to have the proper yellow shade. His skin doesn't look as realistic. It looks like a high-resolution video game, which is what it is, but you would never mistake this for real life.
It looks like they turned the highlights down.
Where if we go back to 2K14, this might honestly trick me from a distance. That's what Kobe looked like, that's how his jersey fit, and that's how the Staples Center looked. Why has 2K regressed graphically? I'm trying to be fair, so again, 2K25 is more complex and has more details. It's rendering more objects, it has more varied animations and player models, and yet, again, it just doesn't look as good as.
I think it might be also because I've been watching this, so there's a lot of gaming channels that have been analyzing the way that video games are made nowadays and the shortcuts they take, which and you know kind of using fillers and blurs and stuff like that. A lot of video games don't look as crisp anymore, if that makes sense.
An 11-year-old NBA 2K game. Here's a zoomed out look at the entire court and arena in 2K14. Notice the lighting and reflections all over the hardwood, the fans wearing yellow, and despite lacking the finer details 2K25 might have, from a distance the lighting here looks almost real.
Yeah.
In 2K25, Staples Center looks pretty dull.
The players do look realistic though. Like they're moving around and they look this looks like a real game. But I will say that it does look dull as fuck. Especially the fans. Like the fans look generic as hell. Even though there's like a lot of variety in them, they look very dull. But I will say this angle, the new game looks way more real.
The shine and shadows of 2K14 are gone. The hardwood is as basic as can be. This screams you are looking at a video game, where 2K14 screams this might be a photograph.
That's weird.
Why the change over?
Like if you freeze the frame, this looks like a video game. But if you let it play, it looks more lifelike than the other one, if that makes sense.
I feel like a lot of newer games focus more on resolution than the actual lighting and realism of their graphics, resulting in crisp yet dull visuals. Rendering a game in 4K is cool and all, but if it takes up this many resources...
I don't think crisp is the right word. I think more like fluid. I think crisp is the other one.
This is where the rest of the game has to suffer visually. What's even the point? Here is Heat era LeBron James in motion and zoomed in on 2K.
That is crazy. Now he is the cover guy, right?
14.
Keep that in mind.
His face might be a bit less realistic than in 2K25, but the lighting of his skin, the sweat, his jersey,
that looks way more
looks
like
great
LeBron
for an 11-year-old game.
Yeah.
In 2K25, he looks more detailed, although he looks more like current LeBron than Heat era LeBron. His jersey looks worse and less authentic. His skin looks more like rubber, and his sweat looks more fake.
His beard
Let's
didn't look
switch
like
up
that
the
either.
teams and location.
I don't think it did.
Let's see what Madison Square Garden looks like, as well as a young Steph Curry. In 2K14, this arena looks fantastic. The reflections look great, the hardwood looks polished, and the court is lit perfectly. I keep coming back to the lighting. Look how the court and players are lit up while the crowd is darkened. It seems to make a huge difference, and in 2K14 the lighting was just so much more authentic because 2K actually sent a team of devs to visit and capture the lighting for every arena, and then it was replicated in-game.
That reminds me of like the I would love to see his analyst on NCAA, the new one. It's phenomenal. The college football game. I forgot what they fucking called it. It's not NCAA 25. It's something else. I think it's like college football 25 or something like that. But they went into so much detail making that game. It is so fucking good.
Why don't they do this anymore? Here's 2K25 and yikes. What is this? It seems like there's one giant overhead light horribly lighting everything. There are no reflections, there's no shine. This is supposed to be the exact same Knicks arena from the exact same era. This looks horrible. Again, look at 2K14 in comparison.
I also wonder, no, because
looking at young Steph Curry, he looks a little off in 2K14. They don't have his face down yet, so 2K25 will look better there, but notice the jersey fabric, his skin. Look at the shine of his forehead sweat.
Honestly, for a character like a player that was not big at the time, that is pretty fucking spot on. It's pretty close.
If we take a quick step back right now, realize that we are discussing the sweat shine of a virtual recreation of a real human being.
Yep.
This is kind of weird, isn't it? Just had to bring you back to reality for a second. Moving forward, here's young Curry on 2K25.
Oh, my bad. I did not mean to bump
He looks
that.
more like Steph Curry here, so 2K25 wins this round. That said, the lighting sucks ass, and his skin and sweat don't look as realistic. Let's look more at Madison Square Garden. Study the lighting here in 2K14 for a second. Now here's 2K25.
Yeah, I really do love how they have the individual lights.
Study the
like the overall patterns of the light. That is phenomenal work. I don't know why they wouldn't be doing this anymore. Like having contrast in your art style is so key to make things pop. And they have no contrast at all
here
in the new game.
2K14 for a second. Now here's 2K25. Why does it look so bad? Am I alone in thinking this looks awful? Or does this look awful? Let's compare.
And also the gameplay was better too.
The crowd. In 2K14, the crowd doesn't seem that complex. This should be easy to beat, right? But notice the fans wearing actual jerseys. We have Warriors jerseys and Knicks jerseys visible.
Same person twice.
Now here's the crowd in 2K25. Why is every fan wearing a casual outfit? What's with the plaid pants?
Bro, there's so much plaid pants.
Why does everyone have plaid pants?
What the fuck?
What team do these fans support?
This must be the golfers.
Let's really zoom in on this hardwood, because I am a big polished hardwood guy.
Yeah, me too.
Look how shiny and beautiful
Love that
this
hardwood,
wood
baby.
looks in 2K14. Crazy how the first 2K on PS4 can handle reflections so well. On 2K25, despite running on a ray tracing capable PS5, the wood looks so bad in comparison.
This so makes overexposed.
Me seriously, my theory is that the city takes up so much of the game's graphical resources that 2K had to scale back graphics for the literal NBA gameplay.
Yes. We talked about this in the beginning of the video, and that is exactly what's happening, I think. I think that the city, the My Park, all that shit. And to be fair, My Career was always my favorite like game mode going back to 2K12. I fucking love that shit. I love My Player. It's so much fun. But you know what was cool about My Player back then? You had a freedom to do whatever the fuck you want. You just leveled up and you would unlock whatever you wanted. You didn't have these presets. You could have a LeBron James 6'8" player build, right? Like his actual like body type, and make him have 99 speed. You know why I know that? Because I have a character like that. It's the simple things like that that you can't do anymore. It's so fucking annoying, man.
Which is absurd. No one even likes the city. It's a bloat.
You know, it's actually funny. Now that I think about it, I'd made that character so long ago. I should make a video about it. But and I didn't even know he had a kid at the time. He probably didn't even have a fucking kid at the time. But guess what his name is? LeBron James Jr.
Mess. Most of us want an authentic NBA game, playing with NBA teams.
Yep.
It's really not that complicated.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about My Park. I just play My Career, the actual like career, like playing NBA. And I play My GM as well, which has it's just fallen.
Let's switch it up again. This time looking at the Thunder at the Bulls on 2K14. Notice the court, the hardwood. Notice the players, the jersey physics, the ball, etc. Does this lighting more closely resemble an NBA broadcast?
I love how it shimmers too. Like that might graphically like bother some people, like when the camera changes and stuff like that. But it's just something simple that it helps it pop more. I'm shocked that this is the case as well. If they would have downgraded the actual NBA play and aesthetics, because like my team is a huge. I guess maybe my team's not big as it used to be anymore. It's probably not as big as it is in FIFA. But yeah, because they don't have like I don't think FIFA has like a My City or anything like that. My team's like pretty much their whole thing, but still like they make a good amount of money off of my team, so there's still incentive to make the game as crisp as possible when it comes to actual league games.
Now let's look at 2K25. It looks a bit better than I thought here, as the United Center looks less dull than Madison Square Garden, but the whole picture is still dull. It's flat, it's washed out. This does not scream 11 years of progress, does it?
No.
Here's Kevin Durant in 2K14, and I think he looks pretty dang good. The lighting, his jersey floating on his skinny-ass frame.
Yep.
This is what KD looked like on the Thunder. KD doesn't look bad in 2K25, in fact his face looks more detailed, but this is 36-year-old Kevin Durant, with worse lighting and more rubberized.
Well, okay, so he keeps on comparing old, okay, so like you can't compare the current roster in 2K14 to the OG teams. I'm sorry, you just can't do that because there's like, what is there, 100 fucking OG teams that they have? It's ridiculous. And then they have like the greatest players on that team, and you can't compare those two because obviously the detail going into the main game roster versus the detail of that roster, what, fucking 9 years later? Was it 9, 10? No, 11 years later. They're gonna recycle characters, obviously. Like what?
Skin. The details are good, but the final picture is lacking authenticity via lighting. For our final comparison, let's look at Prime D Rose. Notice the visible jersey mesh holes on 2K14, the light reflecting off the black lines on the ball.
Yep.
Rose's face, his skin, his sweat. This looks great for a game from 2013.
I'm gonna guess that the jersey's not gonna have holes in it, and I'm gonna say this again. The amount of detail going into the main roster and the people on the rosters and their uniforms and stuff will be different than the OGs.
In 2K25, he just doesn't look right. It's good enough to clearly be Derrick Rose, but his face, skin, and uniform don't compare at all.
No holes.
This easily looks worse, in my opinion. Isn't it strange that a 2K from 11 years ago looks better than NBA 2K25? Lighting is clearly a very important factor when it comes to replicating sports authenticity, and 2K seems to have forgotten all about it.
They didn't forget about it. They made a lot more money going down different avenues, which I think is fucking toxic. It's one of those situations where it's like, for instance, like Halo, not unlocking armor and, you know, having the game pay to play. Like you can't buy Halo. It's free to play now, and you pay for your unlocks. It's very, very unfortunate in my opinion, but it's something that's probably not going to ever change, right? It's the sad, you know, timeline and corruption of the gaming industry. So it's cool to go back to those old games and reminisce and play them and enjoy them, but this will never come back.
Resolution face scans and textures can only get you so far. There's more to video game visuals than that. Worse resolution games can look more authentic due to these small details. Thanks to mod creators in the community, if you happen to own NBA 2K25 on PC...
Wait, what? I didn't even know it was on PC.
There actually are mods that improve the lighting of the game. If 2K won't do it, the community will. DB's 2K mod has been sharing his progress with a lighting remix mod for 2K25, and his videos and screenshots look a lot more authentic than 2K25, and much closer to what NBA 2K14 was doing. Check him out on Twitter at DEIBYS2K.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I need to buy this on fucking
seem to focus
Steam
more
next
on
time.
adding menu pop-ups for microtransaction ads and adding pointless fluff like go-kart racing to the city, instead of making their core game actually authentic.
I hate this.
This has been the case for a long time now. At one point, 2K was innovative and had to earn their position by competing with NBA Live.
I'm shocked that he has a brown shirt on. I'm shocked.
But today, now lacking any competition at all, 2K doesn't even try. If this video isn't enough proof of that, I'm not sure what will be. I just hope things start to change, either from community pressure or from competition returning. This is why NBA Live returning would be a great thing for everyone. Or even a college basketball title to add some more.
Oh my god. Is it basketball, college basketball 08 with, who's on the cover? Is it Tracy McGrady? I forgot who. It's not Tracy. It's a fucking amazing game, bro.
Pressure.
I don't know why they canceled it.
Anyways, thanks for watching.
Actually, I had that game somewhere over here. This is a great video, by the way. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get that game real quick. Where is it? There we go. That wasn't planned. You didn't see that, but I just dropped like my whole... I have all my games stacked up and I just dropped them. So yeah, half of them are on the floor now, but you know, I got a ball. That's nice. That fell on the ground too because it was right next to it. But yeah, it's if you don't know this game, you should check it out, bro. It's College Hoops NCAA 2K8. Man, what a fucking good ass game, bro. It was goated. And then my two other favorite sports games. And I know a lot of people hate on sports games. I talk about and analyze gaming and games and a lot of stuff, actually, not just that. But yeah, shout out to those games because this is back in the day when it wasn't toxic to like sports games, in my opinion. I know they released a new game every year, which is fucking ridiculous, honestly. You could just make a platform for like 5 years. Graphics don't change that drastically. Like if they would have stayed with the 2K14 and just had that like 2K14 through 17, game would have been really good. Just update the graphics or the rosters and you're set. But yeah, this video is really good, man. Let me click off of this and look at the comment section below. Hit that like button on this video as well. Help push this out to more people that like 2K and want to reminisce and see why it sucks nowadays. we'll never forget seeing 2K14 and wondering what it would look like in the future. How could it possibly get better? I remember when the first 2K came out when the PS3 came out, and everyone was like, oh my god, it looks so fucking good, because sports games just look better on PlayStation. And that was like the whole reason a lot of my friends had PlayStations to begin with, because they were Halo fans, but they loved like whether it be like baseball or whatever it might be. And they're like, nah, dude, it just looks so much better on the PS3. And none of my rich friends, we had both, which was unheard of back then. Yeah, man, it's fucking crazy. Why did all the sports games just start to suck at the same time? We're supposed to be in a revolutionary era of sports gaming, but it's regressing. Sad to see. Yeah, it's tragic. The reason it's happening is because of microtransactions, unfortunately. The difference in 2K14 actually looks alive. Yeah, it's wild. Photographer here. It's the shadows / shading of the players' models. You can even see in the cover photo of the for this video, there's absolutely no shading of players in 2K25. It's flat, completely uninspired, and undramatic lighting. It's worse on every single level. If you imported the shadows from 2K14 into 2K25, it would probably look vastly superior, but that would take effort from 2K. Wow, yeah, it would. Yeah, I agree with them completely, because I have to deal with like making thumbnails and stuff like that, and I deal with like just editing on a basic level. But yes, I agree 100%. I am actually a photographer as well, but I do drone piloting, not normal photography. Looks like the sculptor who made the Dwayne Wade statue got a job in the video game industry. Oh boy, what a fucking comment. Also, don't want 150 plus gigabytes games just to fit in the city. It's absurd. Yeah, I don't know who. There's people that probably only play 2K and that's all they do. And that's what people want. They want you to be on their game, on the ecosystem forever, because the longer you're on there, the more likely you are to spend money on that game and rack up, bills with your mama's credit card. I really do think microtransactions should be outlawed from gaming, and then a lot of the games that we know today will just skyrocket in quality, but I don't think that will ever happen, honestly, because not many people care about gaming in America, honestly, like politicians and stuff like that. But yeah, this video is phenomenal. This was by SoftDrinkTV. Go give him a sub. Go give him a like, man. He only has he's got 11K likes, but shit, I feel like he should have more. It's a great video. It'll be linked in the description, obviously. But my name is Trey Swish. This is the Ether. I react to a lot of different things. I talk about a lot of different things: movies, games, TV shows, sometimes politics, sometimes just crazy documentaries and stories. I take recommendations, but I recently bought NBA 2K25 this weekend, and I played quite a bit of it because I got it for sale on eBay for like $20. So yeah, I just felt like I want to talk about this because I love 2K, but I hate it at the same time, if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, I'm Trey Swish. This is the Ether. Hit that sub button to join the Ether. And yeah, let's get to 1K, baby. I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.